Hello and welcome to the Long Island Weather Report. It is about 9 o'clock. It is March 3rd, 2025. We got a Long Island Weather Report and Outlook, and it was another beautiful day for at least until the afternoon when we started having some cirrus roll in. You can see there's some jet junk streaming by on the satellite loop. And yeah, I got to the Pines again today. Rocky Point Preserve this time. I actually took a little video for you. Beautiful, beautiful pines here. Just absolutely. Those sandhills are just amazing, as you can see. Beautiful. But anyway, we had a pretty nice day today. And still on the chilly side. So we'll get to all of that. But before I do any of that, let's go over the month in review for February. We're going to go over the monthly weather summary for February for Islip. So we'll start off here at Islip. Actually, they don't have it up. They don't have it up. Unbelievable. They don't have it up for Islip. So guess what? I guess I'm not doing it. What about LaGuardia? Nope. I don't understand what it is with Upton. Did they get to Central Park? Nope. They did not. All right, so there is no weather summary to report. Probably because of the cutbacks to NOAA, it's probably going to get even worse. So we can just look at the preliminary monthly data if you want, and then we'll come back, I guess. I got to go look at the previous month, though, for that. So we'll just go over the preliminary for Islip, I guess. Click here for archive data. So let's see. We got to find the previous month. Okay, so let's looking February right now. Is this February? What month is this? Yeah, February 2025. It looks like we ran a degree above normal at Islip. And precipitation was 0.43 inches above normal. But we were warmer than normal because of the ending of... So February was above average, especially because of the latter part of the month. So unfortunately, don't have the... monthly data. We'll go over it as soon as that's available. But right now, let's get to our current data for today. High of 37 and the low at 27. Put us 9 degrees below normal for the day. And looking at our current conditions out there right now, you can see all of this action here. There's going to be a very stormy week across the country. And you can already see some, looks like gale watches have been posted already. And we may need a wind advisory, or at the very least, in the next 48 hours. Let's look at our current temperatures out there right now. And it is 32 at Islip. 32 at Islip. So everybody's reporting 32 degrees. You won't believe what it is in the alley, though, believe it or not. Yeah, it's 44. Yeah, I know. I got in here and it was hot, so no surprise. Even though I got all the radiators off, but I spoke about that yesterday. Yeah, it's fairly cool out there still, even though the winds have shifted to the south. They did start off from the north. And you'll see here that we had to start the day, we had a northwest wind, a little breezy at times. And then it looks like as we got toward the afternoon, that's when we saw that wind shift to the southwest. And that's going to bring in warmer air for tomorrow, so tomorrow will not be as cold as it was today. And you can see again the pink that is surrounding us. So we'll go ahead and look at the high temperatures, and it looks like Miller Air Park's down to 26. That's not Miller Air Park. Miller Air Park's down to 21. So it looks like they are seeing some radiational cooling there, but not at West Hampton. They're still 30. So let's go over the high temperatures for the day on the map, and you see highs. Generally mid to upper 30s, a little more like upper 30s to around 40 if you were in New Jersey. And the lows it got down to 19 at West Hampton, 18 at Islip, so it doesn't look like there was radiational cooling there. But 10 at Miller Air Park west of Toms over in the Pine Barrens, where they did apparently have radiational cooling. So that's rather interesting. Zooming out on this map, you'll see that there's a lot of activity here, a lot of colors on this map. We got red flag warnings. Is that a red flag warning? And a high wind watch. So they're going to be getting some strong winds in the Midwest. Then we have winter weather blizzard warnings and winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories. And then to the east of that, we've got this wind advisory covering a pretty big area here. And looks like down there they may even have a high wind warning down in Louisiana. And then here, that looks like that could be that's a wind advisory. It's interesting the way the colors are, but you can see there's going to be some strong winds here. You already see some strong winds here as part of this storm system. So I'm going to pull this out and just show you what we have, and then we're gonna go over the long range toward the end of this video. Because actually, no, I'll go over it now. I'll get it out of the way, but in the short range, we're dealing with some pretty active weather. This is the storm right here that I'm talking about. This is the storm. Actually, no, I'm going to focus on this storm first, and then we're going to talk about the long range toward the end of this video. All right, because this is a pretty massive storm here. All right, as you can see here, a low pressure center, a huge feed of moisture all the way from the Pacific and the tropics. And this spells one thing: a very active weather setup. So when we look at our radar, you'll see here the arc. You'll see, all right now you're not seeing much of anything, but this is going to light up as we get into tomorrow along that cold front. So right now you're not seeing too much of activity, but tomorrow will definitely be a different story. Looking at the weather map you can see this low, all these little fronts around it, warm fronts and some stationary fronts, cold fronts. And at the surface analysis, you see again this low is going to be a very powerful low pressure system. All right, that's going to cause a lot of issues for a lot of areas. All right, that's why we are looking at the Storm Prediction Center, where look at this. There is now a marginal risk and an enhanced risk for severe weather. There's nothing going on there right now. I don't see any severe weather right now, but this is all going to pop up as we head into tomorrow. And that's why the Storm Prediction Center has that risk for an enhanced risk for severe weather into Oklahoma and to much of the Midwest already. Here we are at the beginning of March, and it's already. So this is the day one. We go into the day two outlook. You'll see that risk expands into Louisiana. I mean, it's only early March. We got to talk severe weather already. And you can see that enhanced risk along much of the Dixie Alley area there. Slight risk around that. So definitely is going to be good risk for severe thunderstorms. And as we go into day three, it gets close to us. Wednesday is going to be the stormy day for us, where we're going to be dealing with possibility of a squall line, and you can see that marginal risk over all of New Jersey, and then south of that a slight risk, pretty close to all that. So that's why I'm saying we have a very active weather week coming up, very active. So let's just go to the satellite image here. I'm going to just go over the southeast because I want to show you. I want to show you what's been going on in the Carolinas. They've been dealing with a lot of wildfires, all in both North and South Carolina, and that's the other factor we're going to have to watch for. Wildfire smoke. Let's see. I don't see too much of it here. Oh, there it is. You can see it there. Yeah, it looks like there's some going on in Georgia, too. Yeah, I can see them in Georgia, too. So, yep. There's definitely some fires going on over there, and if we go to this here, high-resolution satellite, you don't see anything right now, but it's mostly, I believe, in the western part of the state. But they're pretty, yeah, here we go. You're starting to see them now. You see these plumes of smoke all over Georgia, and then it looks like there's some over, this is South Carolina, and let's see if this shows up. Yeah, here you go. So there's a plume of smoke here. There's a plume of smoke by Myrtle Beach. There's been a fire over there, so it's been very dry. The good news is these storms are going to come through and bring some rain, but they could also cause lightning, and that could actually start new fires. So that's the other threat that we have to consider at this point. So looking at our area, though, it was fairly clear for a good part of the day. So this is pretty much what we've got going on right now, and we're going to go over and look at the models for this week. Just show you what's going to happen before we go into the long range. There's that nice high that we had. That's going to move away. We get in the return flow tomorrow, and then here comes this big storm, deep storm into the Gulf. You see that tropical feed there. It goes up into the Great Lakes, and that puts us in the warm sector. And that means we could get some pretty hefty thunderstorms with this. And you notice how tight those isobars are, too, as well. So this could be a hefty situation with this storm. And there's going to be a lot of wind with it, too. If we, let's just, can go to the 850 height. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about, the LLJ that you're going to get here with this. This is Wednesday, and you can see it develop here, and then look at that. Or goes over our area, purple, Wednesday night. So this is what we're going to have to watch out for. There's a pretty strong LLJ with this. If we look at the humidity, 700 to 300 humidity. You can see again. There's your look at how narrow that band is. So that's what we're going to have to deal with Wednesday until mostly Wednesday evening, where we're going to have a period where we're going to have a line of heavy showers and thunderstorms most likely moving through. We're going to get more into that a little more later, but there is that severe weather that we do have to be concerned about. I'll show you the European as well, and we're going to look at the. So this has a better. Doesn't have a radar one. Oh, it doesn't have a radar one. Okay. I thought it did. Go to precipitation. I thought it did have. All right, so this is just to show you what's going to happen here. This is a little bit out of resolution. You can see those thunderstorms flaring up, and there's a nice line. And the question is, will that make it to us? So we're going to get into that a little bit later. So let's just go over the long range here. I'll go over to the North American view here, and we're going to go to the upper air. So this is the European. We'll start with the European upper air. And you'll see here that we start getting into that ridge position, which is going to bring up the warm air. Here's that deep trough that comes through. And there won't be all that much cold air behind it because you see the isobars really aren't connecting very well to the Arctic. But it does seem to show that there will be a trough toward the weekend, so it's going to keep things from getting too warm. And there's a ridge around March 11th and 12th, then another trough, and it's a little bit of blocking in Greenland. So we have some storminess, obviously, in the pattern here. Here's the GFS. A similar deal here. You see that? GFS has the GFS, unlike the Euro, has a very deep trough moving over us next Monday. This is the 18Z run and the 12Z run. Both have this deep trough, which could bring down some cold air. You do have the block over Greenland, and you see how this kind of lines up all the way into the Arctic. So that's a pretty big trough right there. It doesn't stick around long. It does lift out. By the next day, it's already lifting out. But that could bring a big storm. The way that's set up there like that could even be snow. We're going to look at the surface. But the GFS is... but then you see toward middle of the month, we see it warming up again. So this is what the GFS is showing on the upper air. All right. I want to go to the hemispheric view as well and just look at the polar vortex. I don't usually into March. I don't look at it too much, but we're going to look at it as well. You can see it's kind of looks like it's trying to split it again, and that would bring down another outbreak of some cold Arctic air, perhaps, if that verifies. All right, so we may still not be done with the Arctic air yet. I don't want to be done with the Arctic air. So let's go to the CONUS view, and let's go look at our temperature anomaly chart here, just to show you the differences here. All right, so obviously tomorrow we're going to go above normal, and then well above normal on Wednesday. And then Thursday, we sort of a transition day. Then for Friday, we're around normal. And then Sunday, we start seeing the storm develop. And then here we are Sunday. You can see there where that storm is. And there's the really cold air that's going to come down over us on the Monday, the day after, into maybe part of Tuesday before it retreats. And then we have the warmer air come in. Now, the European doesn't show it like this. So the European, go to the 12Z European. Cold air backs off tomorrow. We go way above normal on Wednesday. Thursday, still above normal. And then Friday, still a little bit above normal. But see, the European does not have that storm. It does not have the cold air coming in at that time. It has another really crazy warm up, and then it really, that's it. So you want the GFS to be right if you want to have a chance at some more Arctic air. All right. So let's now go to the surface. I think that we're on the European. We'll start there, I guess. And obviously, I showed you the storm that we have to deal with. Once that storm is gone on Thursday, you're going to probably be in like a breezy, windy. And we're going to talk about the wind too, because we're going to have that as well. You can see those tight isobars. So Friday, we may be dealing with some wind as well. And then Saturday, the weekend right now on the European looks fair. Right? Notice there's no storms on the high builds in around March 11th. But the GFS is a completely different story. So if you look at the GFS, this is where they diverge. So once we get past into the weekend, this is where things are a little different here. GFS is a big storm, and it takes a track that might give us snow. The GFS has been doing this for a while now. This could be a big snowstorm if this were to verify, of course. That, of course, is the question. The track is kind of far to the north, but it would definitely be a big snow to areas to the north of us. And then there would be some Arctic air behind that storm. It'd be cold. And then that high kind of already moves offshore by Tuesday because there's no blocking. And then we get into that warm flow. And then there's another storm system there and another one there. So we have periods of high pressure and storms. At least things are moving along. So let's look now at the shorter range. Now you get an idea of what's going on along. Actually, I'm going to put the Climate Prediction Center outlook here while we're talking about this. So the 6-10 day outlook has us in a stripe of near normal, but you notice all the above normal in the middle of the country. Precipitation is above normal, well above normal in the southwest, which would be good news because it's been rather dry. Hopefully some of that gets into Flagstaff. It's been very dry there. They've had only 8.5 inches of snow this entire season. Normally Flagstaff gets, I think, close to 60 inches of snow a year. So they're well below normal, and that could be a very bad drought for them if they don't get some rain precipitation, hopefully a big snow or something. So this is the 6 to 10 day. And the 8 to 14 day, then we wind up in the above normal. The west is below normal, and precipitation's above normal for much of the country. So this is what they have for their outlook. So now let's look at what we're going to be dealing with in the short range. And obviously there's a lot that we're going to have to deal with. So tomorrow, no precipitation. The high kind of moves offshore. But here we go into Wednesday. Here's that front approaching. So as we get toward the afternoon, we're going to start seeing some showers move into the area. And there's going to be a squall line of heavy precipitation, probably around 5. It's really hard to say when it's going to move through. Maybe 5 o'clock, maybe 6 o'clock. There could be a squall line of perhaps severe thunderstorms. Look at that. That is so impressive. What there isn't is a V in the isobars. Normally, I look for a V in the isobars to support a line of severe thunderstorms. I'm not seeing that here. But it could still be a nasty squall line nonetheless. And you note the isobars being clustered together, which means there's going to be an LLJ with this. All right, so either case, there's going to be an LLJ. And there's going to be also a decent amount of rain with this too as well. If we look at total accumulated precip, you'll see it's showing. It doesn't show the whole thing, but it's showing over an inch. And you see that stretches down through the Carolinas. It'll stretch down through this. They're going to get a decent amount of rain and hopefully put those wildfires out. And there have been some fires in New Jersey too, and we could use a really good soaking actually. So this is what the HRRR is showing. Now, if we look at the dew points and wind flow, we'll show you that. You'll see that we have the dry air in place. The winds go to the west tomorrow. They go to the southwest. And that is going to be interesting because now we're going to get a flow from the southwest, and I'm wondering, or south-southwest, and I'm wondering if we're going to see any smoke. So let's go to the HRRR smoke model and look at that for a moment here. And let's see what we got. I think the 18Z run goes out longer. So let's take a look at this one and see if we're going to see haze in the sky tomorrow, perhaps from these wildfire smoke. I almost thought I noticed it a little bit late this afternoon. But it looks like we will actually be getting into some light haze. Nothing like severe, but you'll notice a little bit of it for sure. So we have the south flow tomorrow, and that south flow strengthens as we get into Wednesday. We get an LLJ, and you can see the moisture that's going to come up with this LLJ. Dew points up near 50. Really strong southerly wind, and this is going to be a pretty strong LLJ that's going to come in, I think. And of course, the threat of severe weather. As far as temperatures go, depends. We have increasing clouds that might put a lid on radiational cooling, but where you are getting it, you're probably going to have lows probably in the teens. Everyone else is probably going to have lows in the upper 20s. And for tomorrow, it'll be much warmer, especially in Linden, Jersey. You're going to get probably up closer to 60 degrees. For us here on Long Island, probably be mid-50s. And then tomorrow night, it doesn't really drop off that much. Lows probably will stay above freezing, only in the low upper 30s to around 40. And then for Wednesday, similar deal where we could see things warm up over Jersey, but the southerly flow will tend to keep Long Island a little bit cooler. So that's one of the models we can look at. Let's go to the NAM next, and that's not enough of the NAM of the current one, but we'll go ahead and we'll look at the 18Z run and take a look again at this front here. So here it comes, and you can see for Wednesday, there's a figure it's going to be, it's not going to like rain all day. It's going to rain for a period of maybe 3 or 4 hours. Starting, I would say, after 4 or 5 o'clock, you could see that line of showers moves through, and then there could be some scattered showers after that. The NAM is not showing a squall line here. It is not showing a squall line, so it just shows some scattered showers. Total accumulated precip, again, should agree. Well, it's not quite as much as the HRRR. It's showing between a half to 1 inch, and it has the heavier cells kind of staying inland. I don't know if I agree with that. I really don't know if I agree with that at all at this point. We can look at the lower resolution models, such as the GFS, and show how much precipitation the GFS brings in. Unfortunately, the GFS has us in a hole, the 18Z run. What about the 12Z run? It has us in a hole, too, so only it doesn't have us getting that much, which is not good. That's not good at all. I don't want to see that. Let's see the European. All right, 18Z run. Okay, we don't have total accumulated precip on the European. Don't have it. Okay, so we can't use that one, I guess. Well, we can maybe look at the icon. Icon shows closer to maybe 1 inch of rainfall with this. But if we pan this out, you'll see that it will actually affect a lot of areas where these fires are. So that's good. Hopefully, it'll help them get those fires under control. It's ridiculous we're talking about wildfires and we're just barely in March already. It's just unbelievable. It really is. So once we get rid of this storm, go back to the GFS for a minute, and we'll look at our dew points and wind flow. So once we get rid of this storm behind it, the winds will shift to the northwest, and it'll be breezy as we get to. You notice the Thursday is still kind of mild. We're kind of in a transition day, west winds, and then the northwest winds kick in. You'll see the northwest winds kick in here Friday. And west, you see it'll be kind of on the breezy side. And then Saturday, this is the GFS. This is the difference I'm showing you. This storm that would go by here on Sunday. It's like a stalled front, and then this low literally goes right over us. And there's such a fine line between where it has the dark blue right over us. Now, of course, this could, change. It probably will, but it's been showing this now for 2 runs. So you could see it would be rain mostly in Jersey, but for Long Island, it has some dark blues over there, which could mean a good amount of snow. And if we just for fun, we can look at the total snowfall. Look at that. It's got us over a foot. Now, this is, of course, way out there. It's not way out there, but it is almost a week away. So things can change a lot. And again, if we go back to the European, it doesn't show it at all. All right, so it doesn't show the storm at all. We look at the European. It doesn't show it at all. All right, so the European doesn't have that cold air. It doesn't have that deep trough that the other model had. So as we go into Friday, you can see again the temperatures. Thursday still mild. Friday drops a little bit, and then Saturday we're kind of on a borderline here. The temperatures in the low 40s. Now, the European does bring cold air in, and it has temperatures down to the mid 30s on Sunday. But then we're warm back up again. Now flip it over to the GFS, and look at how much colder it is. It has the Arctic air coming back on Sunday into Monday behind this storm. So the GFS has more Arctic air involved, and that's why you have the big difference here. There's definitely more Arctic air, and see Sunday into Monday, Tuesday, it kind of flies by to the north and the west. But by Tuesday afternoon, we already have southwest winds, so that means even the GFS, the Arctic air, will be short-lived. It'll be with us for a couple of days, and then maybe barely 48 hours, and then we're back dealing with warmth again here as we get toward the middle of the month, and it stays kind of on the mild side after that. So that's what we have. So we can look at total accumulated precip as well, and it does have things being quite so with that storm. The GFS obviously give us a decent amount of water with that storm, and there are a couple of storms here right through the period. It has us above normal precipitation, and unfortunately, like I said, I can't get this for for the European. So for whatever reason, it's not working for the European. This is the icon. It doesn't go out as far. I can look at the 12Z, and it shows for about a week from now, it's not quite as generous as the GFS when it comes to precipitation, because, again, there just isn't as much troughiness. There isn't as much storminess. And you hear the Thunderbolt siren going off. That happens a lot here in Mineola, by the way. You get the difference, and you get the idea of the difference in temperatures that we have in the long range. There is some uncertainty as we get into the latter part of the weekend. So I'm going to go back to GFS. We'll look at the skies. And obviously tomorrow we'll have plenty of clouds. Same deal for Wednesday, obviously. Thursday, plenty of clouds. Hopefully Friday we can have mostly sunny conditions before the next batch of clouds rolls in with that storm. And again, that storm, we don't know exactly what's going to happen with that. So this is it's over a week. I don't like running the cloud models that far out. RGIM, we'll look at that for the clouds as well. So obviously tomorrow we will be seeing increasing amounts of high clouds and some jet chunk. The sun will still be out, but it'll be filtered. And then sort of there's a little break toward the evening, and then more clouds coming. Obviously Wednesday, plenty of clouds. And Thursday also, maybe we see some sun by later in the day. That's as far as we've got on this model. But you can see it looks like the Sirius is trying to come in from the next system for Friday. But I was hoping maybe we could get some sunshine on Friday. I'll just run the Canadian. Hopefully maybe the Sirius will hold off at least. So we can at least get some sunshine in for Friday. Let's look at let's go to the wind situation here. So, all right, vent to sky. We're going to look at the wind here. First start with this. Go into wind gusts. And you'll notice the southerly wind tomorrow. It'll really be a little bit on the breezy side, actually. It should be a decent sea breeze with the south wind like that. But the issue more is that as we get into Wednesday, that's when it's going to pick. Actually, it's a very decent sea breeze on Tuesday. Jeez, very strong. Wednesday, this is what we got to worry about. Yeah, we're going to need a wind advisory for sure. And Upton better issue it because it's showing gusts possibly close to 50 miles an hour here throughout the day. So it's like I said, there's a pretty decent strength low-level jet LLJ that we're going to be dealing with on a Wednesday. And even look at that, still has it going through the night. So this LLJ is really going to, here we are at 11 o'clock. The LLJ is still going here. It doesn't clear out until 1, 2 o'clock, and then it's still over the east end. So whatever this boundary is, this what model we'll be looking at here, the icon, it has it moving kind of slow. We'll have a better idea on this LLJ. Obviously, this is a ways out, so this is subject to change. But it is showing a decent LLJ, and that is going to bring in that again the threat for severe weather. We're going to look at the thunderstorm too and see if there's any CAPE being generated here. It's not showing any CAPE, but there could be again severe weather. But again, I think I'm using the icon and not the HRRR this far out because, again, that front, we're still a little bit of a ways away. So I'm not going to show, go to wind speed, and I could go aloft, and we could just show you the LLJ here that we're going to have. Go to 950, yeah. This is the LLJ. Oh, that's bad. Yeah, this is bad. So yeah, this is a pretty strong LLJ, and the fact that it kind of just sits here. Again, this is the icon, but it just has it sitting over us for a long time, which means we're going to have a period, an extended period of some winds, perhaps. And again, when I have more models, we'll have better information on this LLJ. But it will be windy. We can look at the windy.com site as well. Thursday, we're going to have northwest winds, but still pretty gusty. So still may need a wind advisory. And Friday as well. Friday morning, early in the morning, yeah, we're still going to be. So we're going to be dealing with again another period of wind. It's been the story this whole winter with the wind, and it's going to continue into March. Yeah, that's what we got going on here with the wind here. So let me go to windy.com. We'll look at that for a moment and see what this one's the European model. So let's go and look at wind gusts here. All right, so going into tomorrow, yeah, you can see tomorrow we're going to have some, not advisory level, but it's going to be breezy tomorrow. But then as we head into, yeah, this is bad. So as we head into gusts up to 43, yeah, that's wind advisory. And it gets even worse as we head into the evening. As you get to the heart of that LLJ, probably have gusts over 50. And look at this, 52. So, yeah, wind advisory may not even be enough. We may even need a high wind warning. And this is the same storm system that's bringing the severe weather to the south, of course. So that's the other thing. So as we go into Thursday, you can see the wind shift to the west, but it'll still be breezy, but not wind advisory. But as we get to Thursday night to Friday, we may need another wind advisory. So, yeah, I know. It's been the same story all winter long. I'm going to go look tomorrow here and just show you the winds here tomorrow, because this is where they're getting some of the wind. New Orleans is where they got the high wind warning, actually, for this area. We could see why they got wind advisories up, because we got strong winds ahead of it, strong winds in back of this storm. It's a deep low, so it's going to cause a lot of pressure gradients and wind. And that's what we're going to see, more of that. So, yeah. Lastly, we'll go to the ice. We'll check the ice thing again. And see ice today. Let's see, any new updates from them. There aren't any, but we are below the mean by quite a bit. So will this be the year that we finally get to see the Blue Ocean event? The dreaded Blue Ocean event? It's possible. It's possible. That wraps up this Long Island weather report and outlook. And stay tuned, because Wednesday is going to be very interesting, and we'll have to see what our chances for severe weather are. But could be impressive. Could be quite impressive. All depends on how this all works out. If that front gets tight, it could be quite impressive. But this is what we can expect in a warming world, when we have less sea ice and we have the weather continuing to go berserk. It's only going to get worse. Have a good night.